With Kawhi joining the Lakers, would that be weak?
I'll go back to this first part here. The opening line here was great, but it was a little sarcasm when you were saying the body language on he can do what he wants.
He can.
Yeah, but then you go into this right here about, his legacy. I don't know what the fascination is with people trying to determine what's best for somebody else. I'm just saying.
I'm not trying to determine.
Yeah, you're saying his legacy is
weak. I said this would be the weakest move.
What does Kawhi want? Do we know? Do we know what Kawhi wants?
No. That's what makes this the great mystery. What's his primary motive?
And we're going to know when he makes this decision on where he wants to go and where he wants to play, because the decision he's won in San Antonio already. Now, he had to get traded to go to Toronto, a place he didn't probably want to go. Now he got a chance to make his own decision on what he bases what's important to him. And I'll always go back to it. Do I agree with superpower teams? No. But if that's what a guy wants to do and that's what he feels best for him, then go for it. I don't mean I got to agree with it.
I'm in total agreement.
Right.
But he can do what he wants to do. I have the right to say I've made some weak moves in my life. Everybody makes weak moves. Sometimes the path of least resistance, they're like water.
Maybe that's what he wants. Maybe he wants the easiest
That
path.
would be weak.
In your mind, not in his.
I'm talking about, what about in your mind?
I don't. I think it's the easiest way out. I do.
All right.
I do.
Rick?
Yeah, I can't believe I'm sitting here with two disingenuous guys right now.
How am I being disingenuous?
Wait a minute. No.
But I'm not mad at him if he makes it.
No, when we say a guy has earned the right to make his decision, there's no asterisk or no caveat. He has the right to make whatever decision he wants.
Decision?
But if he makes this decision, boy, is it a bad one. No.
Why are you putting words in my mouth? I never said bad. He can make a strong decision. He can make
Come on now. Now we're
weak
mincing
decision.
words. A weak decision is not a wrong decision. A weak decision decision is still a good decision.
Yes, sometimes. If that's what you want.
Okay.
If that's what you want.
See, when you make that decision, to me, like Kevin Durant, is ramification that you got to deal with, okay? Right. You got 2 MVPs, you got 2 titles. But on the other end of it, you got the criticism. That's a decision that you made, and now you got to live with it, with the ramifications that come from it.
I'm going to give you a real-life example related to me. Anybody that played football, I didn't play football at Ball State my 5th year. I made a weak decision to step away from football and to focus on my academics and becoming a journalist.
It was
because I let my teammates down and I should have played. I regret the decision. It was a weak decision. It worked out well for me. Thank God I did it. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't.
Then it's not a weak move.
It was a weak move. And there's not a teammate I have that doesn't think, oh, that was weak, man. You done started every game. We got a championship team potential. And you stepped away. It was a weak move.
But here's the reality.
Worked out best for me, but it was weak.
You're always going to find somebody who's going to find fault with whatever you make, whatever decision you make.
I'm
good or
removing
bad
from it.
But ultimately, you made the best decision for you. If this is the best decision for Kawhi Leonard, I don't see that decision as weak.
I disagree.
Okay, fair enough. The bottom line is, if he goes to the Lakers, it's great for the league. You need a star. It is great, not good, great for the league, because you need that team that everybody's gunning for. The Warriors are no longer that team. Maybe Toronto is when he goes back there as the defending champs, but it's not the same. It's not the same as going with the Lakers. What he does lose is that he loses very valuable space for himself, because right now he's being portrayed as the one guy who says, I don't need anybody. I can do this on my own. And that's very valuable space. I believe in the market right now, because there are a lot of fans who will look at this as a weak move. Not on the same level as KD, because he won a championship as the lead guy. It's not the same. But nonetheless, he would be losing something in comparison to staying with Toronto or ultimately going to Los Angeles, to the Clippers.
Okay, so to me it sounds like you're uncomfortable with the word weak. If we could come up with another word, you'd be better. You'd be good with it. Because, again, you've just described, but it'd be kind of a weak move if he didn't stay with Toronto.
I think he loses some stature that he has right now. Then again, Kawhi Leonard has not been worried about
But Kawhi has it, and to go back to you about bad for the NBA. We thought that it would be bad for the NBA with Golden State. But look what happened in regards to the national coverage.
Oh, it's always good.
It's unbelievable. And if you're the Lakers, long term, you know you need 2 superstars post LeBron's career.
And see, that's the part.
And that is the part for the Lakers.
We could judge it now going there. But if Kawhi is doing this as much because Anthony Davis is there and he's playing the long game and he's saying, I get to play with LeBron now and I get to run this ship once LeBron steps off.
Yep, it's a whole different.
That, to me, is a shrewd move, not a weak one.
Okay. Neither one. Do you all not think the NBA over the next 2 years wouldn't be better? You have 2 guys that have led 2 different teams to NBA championships and were NBA Finals MVP, LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard. That, to me, sounds like the perfect rivalry, not the perfect teammates. You got Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali. You have Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
This feels a little bit to me like when we were trying to create a rivalry between Kobe and LeBron. And Kobe was at the point where he couldn't hold up his end of the bargain, and LeBron was coming. I feel the same here. LeBron without Kawhi, Vegas right now has the Lakers as the favorite. I have them in the pack. As potentially, but not a lock.
The rivalry also has to be where the Clippers are viable enough to compete with who they can get secondhand to go with Kawhi to push.
Oh, so you're saying if he's with the Clippers?
Yeah, he said if he's with the Clippers.
About
if he's with the Clippers, for me, right now, Kawhi's. I think the big thing we always talked about with the Clippers was who's going to be their first and second guy. Who's going to be the 2 stalwarts going there? Right now, it's just Kawhi.
And one of the greatest supporting casts I think you
supporting
can have.
cast. That don't mean you go automatically in the West.
No, I get, but Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams.
I love the
Patrick
team,
Beverley.
but it's not guaranteed that it'd be that rivalry. Is what I'm saying. So
these 2 guys in the same building, the number 1 and number 2 player, you can stack them whatever way you want in the same building. That's not a great NBA story.
I said it doesn't guarantee that. I know one thing is guaranteed: if Kawhi goes with the Lakers on what that does in regards to marketability and having a villain that you talked about. Miami was the villain, okay? Golden State was the villain. Every time you're on national TV, even if you didn't love basketball and watch it, you wanted to either see them win, lose, or whatever. And that's what you're going to see with the Lakers.
We're all old enough to remember that y'all think the villain is the greatest thing. I think the rivalry is the greatest thing. I think Larry and Magic dwarfs any of this stuff we've seen the last 10, 15 years with LeBron James. I think that. And you couldn't, I just don't think you could ask for anything more than these 2 fighting for control of Los Angeles. Steve Ballmer, Jerry West, Doc Rivers. That's a great, potentially taking out the greatest brand in the NBA. That's a great story.
Who were the Bulls' rival?
At one point, the Pistons. The Celtics.
It moved.
Right, yeah. Those guys got older.
There wasn't a rivalry. And it worked because you had
Michael Jordan, and none of these guys are Michael Jordan, but go ahead.
Okay, but you had a great team. Well, look, I mean, the Golden State Warriors didn't have a Michael Jordan.
No, and that's why they never elevated to Jordan's level.
They took the league back ratings-wise from where it was when the Bulls and Jordan stepped off. I mean, that's what the ratings say. Is that
I can't argue that at the moment, but I disagree with it. But I can't argue.
Here's the thing on the rivalry, too. I think if you go back to the Magic and Bird thing, it was organic because of what happened in college. It was organic. We can't create that again because, I mean, it's tougher to create that organic rivalry. Okay, so you're trying to manufacture one.
I'm not trying to manufacture one. If Kawhi shows up at the Staples Center in a Clippers uniform, that's a damn rivalry.
It is, but you know what? It's a city rivalry. I don't know that it's a national rivalry. And you know what? And I'm not even sure that Clippers and Lakers fans are feeling a rivalry. Like I don't feel like
because the Clippers haven't done anything.
Okay, well,
and with Kawhi they would.
So you might be growing a rivalry, but right off the jump, I'm not convinced that the rest of the country is going to look at it and go, "Ooh, man, I can't wait to watch Clippers Lakers." I'm not feeling that.
I don't think the rest of the country is waiting to see LeBron get with the first or second best player in the NBA. He's already got Anthony Davis. I don't think that. I think people are a little tired.
I think they're far more interested in that. And again, I think you're speaking to the basketball fans, who, as much as they want to bitch about the league and everything else, they're going to watch because they're basketball fans. The mainstream audience, whoa, Kawhi, AD, LeBron, I gotta watch that show. I don't even care who they're playing. I got to see that show. That's what that appeals to.
And they got to watch it, too, like Floyd Mayweather. Can we watch a fight and he gets beat?
Yeah.
You know, I want to see that. I want to see that destruction. I want to see that train
Floyd's a good
wreck.
example.
But, you know, no, but here's the thing with the Lakers.
Dodged everybody until they was
Listen,
old.
if everybody gets together and they're not as successful, see, I told you.
Yeah.
So people want to see that as well.
We're making this too complicated. Look,
Real complicated.
Because, again, let's take sports out of it. Let's just look at TV and look at movies. Batman versus the Joker, Batman versus Bane, J.R. Ewing versus Bobby Ewing. Rivalries work. People are compelled by that. Great competition. Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali. That's what has always worked. This new AAU super team stuff, y'all can sell it all you want. It's not as good as two guys going for each other's throat.
But this
they want the exact same thing and have the tummy and the things between their legs to go at each other rather than calling each other and texting each other. And how can we get together and make it easy?
You're right. But you know what the reality is? You're not going to get that in this rivalry. If he's considering playing with this guy and then he decides to play for the other team, you think that this is going to be mano a mano, man, I hate your guts? There's none of that.
It's not about working their gut. I just want them to compete against each other on the court. I want the two best players to play each other 5 or 6 times in the regular season and meet in the playoffs and go at each other and let's settle it. Let's figure, okay, who is LeBron, even at 35? Is he still the best player? Or has Kawhi taken his throne?
No.
I want to see that.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.